Good morning everyone. In this video, we are going to cover the current affairs. For mobile optimized ebooks, please install GKToday Academy app. You can attempt the quiz in this app and you can read detailed explanation. For regular updates, please join our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. We have started a new channel, Civils Academy. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Now, let's start. Who is the head of technical group on Social Stock Exchange, the group which was set up by SEBI? So, this group is headed by former chairperson of NABARD, Mr. Harsh Bhanwala. What is SEBI? It is Securities and Exchange Board of India. So, recently this technical group on Social Stock Exchange was in news as it has recommended that political and religious organizations and professional trade organizations should not be allowed to raise funds through such social stock exchange. So what it has recommended that political organizations, religious organizations and trade organizations should not be allowed to raise fund through social stock exchange. Now what is NABARD? It is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Please note that recently NABARD was also in news as RBI had divested its entire stakes from NABARD and now NABARD and NHB, that is National Housing Bank, are the complete subsidiary of Government of India. That means Government of India now holds 100% stakes in these two financial institutions. Please note that NABARD was established on the recommendations of B. Shivraman Committee. Recently, RBI was in news as it announced first auction for special LTRO of 10,000 crores for Small Finance Bank. Now first thing first, what is LTRO? It is long-term repo operations. What is repo? Repo rate is the rate at which RBI, that is the Central Bank of India, provides money to the banks. What is LTRO? It is long-term repo operations. So it is a mechanism through which banks borrow funds from central bank at a rate of repo. And since it is for long term, that's why it is called as long-term repo operations. There's one more term, TLTRO, that is targeted long-term repo operations. In case of TLTRO, suppose banks, there is one bank B1, it got money from RBI. Now, this money can be utilized or this money can be given as a loan to specific sectors only. So, there is a specific target. That is why it is known as targeted long-term repo operations. So, recently RBI decided to conduct first auction for SLTRO. This is going to be of 10,000 crores. It is for small finance banks. Next question is, which country's spacecraft is the first to record the sounds of a separate spacecraft on another planet? So this is the spacecraft of USA. Space Agency of USA is NASA. NASA is National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So recently NASA's Perseverance rover captured the sounds of Ingenuity helicopter on the surface of or in the atmosphere of Mars. So this is the first such instance to record the sounds of a separate spacecraft on another planet. So this rover recorded the sounds of this helicopter on the surface of Mars. Now please note that this Perseverance rover landed in the Jezero crater of Mars. So in exam they may ask you that recently this crater was in news. It is associated to which planet? So it is associated to Mars. Now recently one more Mars mission was in news and it is Zhurong. So it is the Mars mission of China. Actually, this is the name of rover. This Zhurong is the name of rover and the name of mission is Tianwen-1. Recently, China was also in news as WHO, that is World Health Organization, gave emergency use approval to a COVID-19 vaccine by China and the name of this vaccine is Sinopharm. Apart from that, one more Mars mission was in news. It is Hope Probe. So it is the Mars mission of UAE, that is United Arab Emirates. Next question is, what is California Condor, which was in news recently? So it is a bird species and it is a species of vulture. It is the largest North American land bird. Now please note that California is in USA and it is on the southern side of USA. So it shares border boundary with Pacific Ocean. Next question is, which independent regulator is mandated to oversee the compliance with accounting and auditing standards by certain companies? The correct answer is NFRA, that is National Financing Reporting Authority. So NFRA has framed a provisional database of companies and auditors that come under its regulatory purview. Please note that it is independent regulator and it oversees the auditing profession and accounting standards in India. It has been constituted as per the provisions of Companies Act of 2013. Now, the nodal authority for this Companies Act is MCA, that is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. In fact, the provision of CSR, that is Corporate Social Responsibility, is specified in this Companies Act itself. So different companies appoint auditor, and this NFRA is the regulator of these auditors to oversee that these auditors do not manipulate the data. Now please note that India is the first country in the world to mandate CSR expenditure. Next question is, Climate and Clean Air Coalition, in association with which organization, has launched a global methane assessment report? So CCAC, that is Climate and Clean Air Coalition, along with UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program, has launched this global methane assessment report. This CCAC, that is Climate and Clean Air Coalition, has been set up to reduce short-term climate pollutants, and the secretariat of this coalition is in France. To be specific, it is in Paris. UNEP stands for United Nations Environment Program. So it was formed in 1972 on 5th of June. 5th of June is celebrated as World Environment Day. Now 1972 is special because of UNCHE, that is United Nations Conference on Human Environment. This is also known as Stockholm Conference. The headquarters of UNEP is in Nairobi and it is in Kenya. Presently, the executive director of UNEP is Inger Anderson. As the name suggests, it is an organization of United Nations. Next question is, ID Art app has been launched by which organization? So it has been launched by Interpol, that is International Police. The headquarters of Interpol is in Lyon, it is in France. So what is the objective of this ID Art app? This app will help in the identification of stolen cultural property. So it is going to be a database of different cultural properties, and this database will be useful in finding the stolen cultural property. Please note that it can be accessed by the general public as well. Interpol is international police, and in Interpol, CBI represents Indian side. What is CBI? It is Central Bureau of Investigation. So it is the nodal authority from Indian side. CBI is set up as per the provisions of Delhi Special Police Establishment. So it is DSPE. It is an act of 1942. The headquarters of CBI is in New Delhi. Answer in comment box who is the present CBI director, and CBI is under the administrative control of which union ministry. Next question is, European Investment Bank has entered into a pact with which Indian bank for climate focused equity financing? So it has signed an agreement with State Bank of India. So EIB, that is European Investment Bank, and SBI decided to collaborate to provide financial support for the climate focused projects. Now these two have created a new fund and the name is NEV. NEV means foundation. The NEV Fund Second. Now recently SBI was in news because of its MD S. Janaki Raman. So he is the MD of SBI. MD stands for Managing Director. Why S. Janaki Raman was in news? Because recently RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, constituted advisory committee to assist RRA, that is Regulatory Review Authority, and S. Janaki Raman is the head of this advisory committee. This committee is going to assist Regulatory Review Authority. Now recently this EIB, that is European Investment Bank, was also in news as it announced a financial support agreement for Pune Metro Rail project. Pune is in Maharashtra. Recently Maharashtra was also in news because of Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary. Why this sanctuary was in news? Because recently Environment Ministry, that is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, notified the area around this Thane Creek Flamingo Sanctuary as eco-sensitive zone, that is ESZ. So what is the concept of this ESZ, that is eco-sensitive zone? So eco-sensitive zones are the geographical areas within the radius of 10 km around any protected area or any national park, and it is declared by Environment Ministry, that is Central Environment Ministry, under EPA. What is EPA? It is Environment Protection Act. So this act was enacted in 1986. Answer in comment box in which year WPA, that is Wildlife Protection Act, was enacted. Next question is, what is Xcode Ghost, which was in news recently? So it is a malware. What is the meaning of term malware? It is malicious software. So this manipulate the functioning of computer. Recently, this was in news because it was detected in several iPhones and in iPads. Recently, one more malware was in news. It is Shadow Pad. So this malware was in news because as per a report by New York Times, this malware was responsible for coordinated attack on Mumbai, and because of this attack there was a power outage in Mumbai in October 2020. So in exam they may ask you the term shadow pod was in news. It is a malicious software or malware, and it was part of a coordinated cyber attack which was conducted by a Chinese based firm Red Eco. So these were the most important questions. Now we are going to cover important news events. First is Dost for Life. So this is a new initiative announced by CBSE, that is Central Board of Secondary Education. So this is a mobile app and this has been launched for psychological counseling of kids. So with the help of this application, the parents and kids will try to reduce the stress. Next is Dr. Tahira Qutbuddin. So recently Dr. Tahira was in news as Dr. Tahira became the first Indian to win Arab World Nobel Prize. And the name of this award is Sheikh Zayed Book Award. Popularly, it is known as Nobel Prize of Arab World. So she won the award for her book Arabic Oration, Art and Function. Dr. Tahira is of Indian origin. Next is National Technology Day. So it was observed on 11th of May. Why 11th of May? Because on this day in 1998, we conducted nuclear test in Pokhran. Pokhran is in Rajasthan. Answer in comment box what was the name given to this entire mission of nuclear test in 1998. Next is robotic solar cleaning technology. So recently, Israel-based company Ecopia was in news. So this is a company of Israel as it is going to produce robotic solar cleaning technology, and for this Israel is going to collaborate with UAE and with India. So this is going to be a first such collaboration between these three countries. Please note that the ties between Israel and UAE normalized recently as part of Abraham Accord. Next is Doge 1 mission. So this is a mission of SpaceX. SpaceX is a company, private space company headed by Elon Musk. So it is a mission to moon, and it is going to be first ever commercial mission to moon where the payment is going to be done in cryptocurrency, and this is going to be Dogecoin. Next is Ujjwala Singhania. So recently Ujjwala Singhania was in news as she became the next president or 38th president of FICCI FLO. What is FLO? It is FICCI Ladies Organization. What is FICCI? It is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Next is Jose J. Cator. So recently he has been appointed as the ED, that is Executive Director of RBI. Recently RBI was also in news as RBI approved Bajaj Finance for the prepaid payment business. So now Bajaj Finance is going to be in the league of Paytm and companies like Amazon in the field of prepaid payment. Recently, Paytm was in news as it launched COVID-19 Vaccine Finder tool. A similar initiative has been announced by Facebook. Next is Life in a Clock Tower Valley. So this is a book by Shakur Rathir. And last is Dahla Dam. So this is a dam in Afghanistan. Recently this was in news because it has been captured by Taliban. Taliban is a militant group of Afghanistan. So these were the most important questions and news events. The test is provided in a separate video. Please check that video. Thank you, and that's all for the day.